Folks, Donald Trump, twice impeached, criminal convicted felon-in-chief. He is attacking anyone and everyone. This is all about a revenge tour. That's what it boils down to. So now this idiot says Republicans should consider expelling Democrats pushing impeachment efforts against him. Okay, in his latest social media tirade, he came after Michigan Democratic Congressman Shri, Thanedar, who introduced an impeachment resolution citing a sweeping abuse of power, flagrant violations of the Constitution, and acts of tyranny that undermine American democracy and threaten the rule of law. Well, this is what the con man had to say about that. So pull the tweet up, and you'll see this here. Well, first of all, it's going to be hard for y'all to see that tweet, guys. We should have put that in our graphic. It's hard to see that, y'all. And so it's just all kind of craziness in here. He says the Democrats are really out of control. They have lost everything, especially their minds. These radical left lunatics are into the impeachment thing again. They have already gotten two no-name, little respected congressmen, total whack jobs, both throwing the impeachment of Donald J. Trump around for about the 220th time, even though they have no idea for what I would be impeached. Actually, they do. Maybe it should be for cleaning up the mess that they left us on the border, or the highest inflation in our country's history, or perhaps it should be the incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan, or Russia, Ukraine, or the attack of Israel on October 7th. It only proceeded because they allowed Iran to regain great wealth. These congressmen stated that they didn't know why they would impeach me, but we just want to do it. The Republicans should start to think about expelling them from Congress for all of the crimes that they have committed, especially around election time. These are very dishonest people that won't let our country heal. Why do we allow them to continuously use impeachment as a weapon against the president of the United States, who by all accounts is working hard to save our country? That's laughable. It's the same playbook that they used the first term. And it's a whole bunch of other stuff that he just goes on to say, blah, 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 blah. And that's what he does over and over and over and over and over. Okay, he called lowlifes, he called Shifty Adam Schiff, and all this sort of stuff like this here. So joining us right now is Congressman Al Green. You've been quite vocal, Fred, about Donald Trump and his actions needing to be impeached. Just the latest salvo. I mean, we're dealing with a completely unhinged individual.
He's desperate. He's entirely desperate, and he has no guardrails. You've seen what Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson said. She's in fear of the judiciary having some concerns, and she's encouraging her colleagues to have the courage to stand for justice. This man, who has been convicted, as indicated, 34 times, twice impeached, desires to be a dictator. In fact, I contend that he has already crossed that line. When you defy orders of the Supreme Court of the United States of America, you're there. But there are those in the country who would have us believe that there has to be a constitutional crisis before you can engage in impeachment. They would want us to wait until the tanks are rolling into major cities and taking over capitals. This is our time to deal with it before we get to a point of no return. I believe that impeachment is imminent. I believe that is necessary. I pray that my colleagues will see the same. But whether they do or not, I will introduce articles of impeachment. They will be read on the floor of the Congress of the United States of America for all the world to know why Donald John Conman Trump should be impeached.
I mean, here's what's crazy. He gave an interview the other day with Terry Moran of ABC, where he literally said he doesn't necessarily have to follow the Constitution. That's
right.
Says it.
Yes, he has confessed there, but he also had this meeting in the White House with the president of El Salvador, and at that time, he and a number of his key cabinet officials, they went on to talk about how the man's an illegal alien and how he's a member of some sort of crime, a gang. But here's the point. It doesn't matter what he's done. In this country, you're entitled to due process of the law. Doesn't matter what you've done that violates the law. You still have that right to say, hey, you got the wrong person. Hey, this is something else, and I'm not associated with that. He never had that opportunity. But it's not about him as much as it is about you and what can happen to you if we allow this to happen to him. If it can happen to one person, it can happen to another. And if it can happen to another, it can happen to me and possibly you.
We talk about lack of due process. We talk about just him cutting, just decide. I mean, we just saw last night oh, issues an executive order. He just can't cut the corporate or public broadcasting. I mean, he thinks he can do whatever the hell he wants to do.
Well, he is now governing by executive order. That's what it is. And each of these executive orders will have to be appealed, they'll have to be litigated, and it takes time to do this. In the meantime, he is now having his executive orders fulfilled. And then we have to come back and people have to be rehired. He is disrupting the lives of the American people. But more important than this, my dear brother, he is inculcating fear into our society. There are people who are afraid to take him on. Well, I'm not. I'm going to take him on. Mr. President, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I will not be intimidated. I'm going to bring articles of impeachment against you.
Well, on that particular point, you've got people who are afraid. There are people who are afraid to protest. They're afraid they might get, called a terrorist. And you can't just let this guy get away with whatever he wants. There has to be accountability. He has to be challenged.
When he won't obey the orders of the court,
right,
and when the Republican-controlled Congress will not take up its constitutional mandates against him, that only leaves Democrats. And Democrats can do what they may. I'm a liberated Democrat, unbought, unbossed, unafraid. I have said that I will impeach. I will say it again. He will be impeached. But let me add this. People of the country, understand this. When this man crosses the line and fulfills his desire to be a full-time dictator, he's a part-time TINHORN dictator now. But when he fulfills his desire to be a full-time dictator, it will be too late. You don't wait until there's a constitutional crisis, and you don't have to have one to impeach, and you don't wait until there is a dictatorship. You do this to prevent the dictatorship. You do this is the patriotic thing to do for a person who wants to stand for liberty and justice for all.
Again, it's just crazy what we're seeing, and you're dealing with someone who's completely unhinged. And then this creation of a Department of Government Efficiency that is not even a real department, allowing individuals who are not properly vetted, who have not been, who have no credentials, making these decisions. He's just running roughshod, and frankly, Republicans are saying nothing, doing nothing, not even holding him accountable. They are truly pathetic in how they are dealing with this.
Absolutely. And you are eminently correct. DOJ, the department, well, presidents don't create departments. Congress can create a department. They can't. So what he has now is a fake department. He had a person with a chainsaw who was lauding what he was able to do in terms of cutting salaries, cutting people. They did a cut on NASA. We were out protesting with those persons. They want to eliminate the Postal Service that is in the Constitution of the United States of America, eliminate it by privatizing it. They've said that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. That's going to impact people who have made an investment in their futures. They're going to cut into that. And of course, I stood on the floor of the Congress of the United States of America, and I had my cane in hand, and I pointed out to the president that he does not have a mandate to cut Medicaid. He doesn't have a mandate to cut Medicare, nor does he have a mandate to cut Social Security. And that has become a battle cry across the length and breadth of this country. In fact, around the world, people understand now that this is what he would do. As you know, they're mandated to cut $880 billion from the committee that has oversight of Social Security, over Medicaid. And if they cut that $80 billion, $80 billion from that committee, then that's going to leave a lot of people suffering who are in need of medical attention.
Indeed, indeed. Congressman Al Green, we appreciate it. Keep the pressure up.
Well, let me just add one more thing, if I may, as I close. Listen, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't dip, I don't chew. I do have some vices. But remember this, if I am missing, I'm expecting you and this station, you, dear brother, to demand some accountability for what happened. This man is so unhinged, and he has people out there on the street who are unhinged. We don't know what can happen to people. When you have federal judges who have protection, federal judges, a chief justice on the Supreme Court saying we need protection and you've got to be careful. When he's talking about impeaching them, and he knows what that's going to do, it's going to send a message to those people on the street. So I just expect you to make sure that there's some accountability.
That'll happen.
All right.
You can bank on that.
All right. Thank you,
Brad. I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.